We're seeing something really interesting and really historic over in the PFL right now. With Paul Hughes, the PFL is the little brother promotion to the UFC, second string. It probably always will be. But they are creating a star in Paul Hughes right now, who is becoming the face of the promotion. And in just three fights in about 7, 8 months, Paul Hughes has turned a lot of attention to the PFL. Has become kind of the face of the PFL, that has Francis Ngannou on its roster. And it's really quite fascinating what he's been able to accomplish in such a short time and how much he's been able to grow his own brand in this time. And this last fight with Usman Magomedov, despite the loss, has been fantastic for his career. I have never seen a fighter coming off a loss have more praise given to them, have more, have their stock rise more than I have seen with Paul Hughes. And that's awesome for him in his career. I'm really happy for him. He's already quickly becoming one of my personal favorite fighters to watch. And rightfully so. He's one of the best in the world already. I think he proved that against Usman Magomedov as a 6-1 favorite, taking the Bellator champion to the brink of defeat in just his third fight in the PFL promotion. And he is awesome to cover right now. A superstar, a lot of attention on him, getting a lot of traction, and big reason why is the iconic moment in round four of his fight with Usman Magomedov, with the blood pouring down his face, standing in the octagon, staring his opponent down, smiling at him, knowing that the fight was turning in his favor, that he had Usman Magomedov exactly where he wanted him, something that we never thought would happen, for fans of MMA. And Paul Hughes showed that he is legit, he is game, he is the real deal. Two-time UFC champion, Olympic gold medal wrestler Henry Cejudo, who doesn't really give out a lot of compliments, historically in as a media guy. Now, Henry was saying that Paul Hughes is the people's champion. And that's quite the compliment because Paul Hughes did win over, the hearts of the people in that fight that Usman Magomedov was unable to do. And that goes quite a long way in building a star. That's awesome for the PFL. It's something that they need to compete with the UFC. And he is the people's champion, right? Not everyone thought he won that fight. I think Paul Hughes won that fight. It's a very controversial fight. We want to see that fight again. But he's won over the hearts of the people, and he is the people's champion. Right? That's what Muhammad Ali called himself. That's what Dwayne Johnson, called himself in WWE. And he is the people's champion, right? He's the more beloved fighter between him and Usman Magomedov. Uh, and the big reason why was the toughness that he displayed in round four, and round five, closing out the round strong. But he's also come off really well in the coming days. I think Usman Magomedov kind of did him a favor, maybe inadvertently, of saying that he doesn't want that fight to happen immediately, that he wants that fight to happen maybe in another year or two. Paul Hughes needs 3 or 4 more wins before he gets another shot at the title. That's kind of a heel thing to say, and because we want to see that fight immediately. And Usman kind of being resistant to that idea, would anger fans, rile up emotions, and Paul Hughes pushing for that fight, insisting it needs to happen next in Belfast, which is something that all the fans would love to see. Is kind of making him look like the babyface. That's something that Ariel Helwani was talking about in his show. So credit to Ariel. Great show, the best MMA show in the world, the Ariel Helwani show. But Paul Hughes does look like the babyface. Ariel's right. They were right. And you know he continues to look that way with his recent feud with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor said some personal things about Paul Hughes, about how he's not really Irish, how he should have the flag off of him. Because Paul Hughes showed respect to Khabib Nurmagomedov and Usman Nurmagomedov. Following the fight. and he was saying like, "I'm not like the other guy. I'm my own man," which Conor took personally, which I get that Conor took personally, but he also took it too far. What Conor McGregor does best is escalate situations, and that's what he's done throughout his career. And it's frustrating that Conor does that as often as he does. He's a divisive figure. He's a polarizing figure. Conor's Conor. He's been who he's been for quite some time now. And him attacking Paul Hughes here wasn't a good thing. Obviously, it was hurtful. He hurt a lot of people in Ireland with his comments, especially in Northern Ireland, and went after Paul Hughes' identity and all these sort of things. Conor's Conor. It's frustrating at this point. It's sad, what he's become, or what he or who he or always has been. But it's sad to see Conor, you know, be be this guy, be this villain in reality instead of just in fight business. And it's a shame. That this is what's happened. He's turned a lot of people off of him in this time, and inadvertently so. Him attacking Paul Hughes has kind of been a passing of the torch, because Paul Hughes handled everything here with a lot of respect and class, saying that but Connor's opinion doesn't hold weight to him because this is just what Connor does. And it's sad that he feels that way, but this is how he feels. And it was just honest. He didn't make things personal. He wasn't escalating a situation further, which was what he was doing with giving Khabib and Usman respect because, there were fights in the stands and the weigh-ins between, Irish fans and Dagestan fans. And that's unfortunate, and that shouldn't really be happening. And Paul Hughes kind of showing that respect, goes a long way in kind of you know de-escalating that feud. Maybe he doesn't have to like Khabib and Usman, but showing these guys respect is the right thing to do. We have enough divisiveness in the world, enough lack of respect for people who we disagree with. Uh, People are much more similar to each other than they want to admit. But that's a whole nother story. We're not going to go on a huge rant about that here on the interim title show. But Paul Hughes was very admirable, very honest, came off very genuine and sincere, and was didn't wasn't hurtful, wasn't attacking, wasn't escalating situation. And again, he looks like the baby face. He looks like the good guy. And whether it's inadvertent or not, Connor giving him negative attention, it just puts more eyes on Paul Hughes. And in this situation, he looks like the good guy, and he's just getting more praise for how he's handled things. For a 27-year-old, athlete, Paul Hughes seems very mature beyond his years. He looks like he's very mature in the octagon. Looks very evolved for such a young mixed martial artist, and just the way he's handling these situations with Connor. It's probably better than anyone's handled a situation with Connor and Connor attacking them in the fight business. And it's a shame that this has taken place and everything. And Paul Hughes handled things remarkably well, and he is showing that he is the role model figure in Irish MMA, and he is what Irish MMA should be. He should be the face of Irish MMA. I think Ian Machado Gary. He's very similar to Paul Hughes. I think he's more similar to Paul Hughes than Connor. He has those mic skills, those talking trash, those disrespectful moments, but like he doesn't really cross the lines that Connor has. And what Connor's been doing here with Paul Hughes, he's given Paul a lot of attention. He gave Paul a lot of praise and was at his PFL debut against Bobby King in Dublin, which was huge. And that was kind of an interesting pass of the torch moment. That gave Paul Hughes a lot of confidence, a lot of credit, a lot of credibility in the MMA community. He gave him a lot of praise for following AJ McKee, said he would be in his corner. Paul was all about that. But then when things went down with Conor a few months ago, Paul no longer pursued that. And then he praised Paul for his performance against Usman Magomedov, said he won the fight, which he did. In my opinion, I really firmly believe that. And Conor, now giving him negative attention following the slightest bit of disrespect that he sees, and that's the way Conor operates. But this attention that Paul's getting from Conor throughout the last 7, 8 months, something that Ian Machado Gary's never gotten. And the UFC wanted to give him that. He was going to open up the card that Conor's big comeback fight against Michael Chandler, UFC 303. It's never taken place. And this attention from Conor inadvertently is just making Paul Hughes the next face of MMA, making him the role model that Irish fans want to see to be their face of their country's mixed martial arts. And I think we are seeing a new transition here of Paul Hughes being the face of Irish MMA. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to have a better career than Conor. I think he's a better fighter than Conor already, which is quite the statement. Because as I've distanced myself from Conor McGregor, I was a fan of Conor McGregor. I no longer am a fan of Conor McGregor for several reasons. I think we all know why one wouldn't be a fan of Conor McGregor these days. But what Paul Hughes has been able to do is much more admirable. Something I respect much more, and everything. But and all these things about Conor that I no longer am a fan of. He is one of the greatest fighters in UFC history, and that's an undeniable fact. And that's something that can never be taken away from him. He has damaged his own legacy, but he is still one of the best to ever do it. And I think Paul Hughes is going to be even better. And I do firmly believe that. So that's quite the statement. I think Paul Hughes will be the face of Irish MMA for years to come, and he is the rightful next face of Irish MMA. He deserves it, and he is what a role model should be. He is what a mixed martial artist should be, and that's awesome. And that's something that the fans deserve. I let me know what you guys think in the comments about Paul Hughes' future, about this feud with him and Conor McGregor. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow the Interim Title Show on Instagram as well. And thank you again for watching.